Let us clear this mess once and for all. I entered the University of Ibadan in 1976, the same year as he, Godwin Obaseki. We were both from Egosa Anglican Grammar School, where he finished 1 year ahead of me in 1973. I left in 1974. Mr. Obaseki'S, also from the 1973 set, was the third person to enter University of Ibadan, UI, that year from Egosa. C0ÜÇT, also 1973, Egosa, was the fourth, but he was in the prelim class. I attended Edo College for the HSC, and I know that Obaseki was at the Center for Continuing Education, now Institute for Continuing Education, which was quite popular for advanced level tuition those days. Obaseki was admitted to read classics, Obaseki'S, history, both in the Faculty of Arts, and I, political science, in the Faculty of Social Sciences. In both faculties, all undergraduate courses were 3-year courses, as the university offered preliminary courses only in the sciences, agric, technology, and medicine. Preliminary or pre-degree courses for arts and social sciences were offered in the Jos campus of the UI, which became the University of Jos in 1975. Up until 1978, when JAMB was established, Joint Admission Matriculation Board, Nigerian universities had two modes of entry. Applications were made to individual universities, and many of us had multiple admissions. The first was the consensual entrance mode, by which students were admitted to preliminary classes, which were in effect pre-degree classes at Ibadan. Prelim classes were sub-100 level and were taken as qualifiers for entry into degree programs. Simply put, 1 year course. Afterwards, you get into degree itself. For this mode of entry, a minimum of WASC O-level credits were required in addition to passing the consensual entrance examination set by individual universities. The second mode was direct entry. Direct literally because you are admitted to 100 level, unlike prelims, which were pre-degree and sub-100 level. In the arts and social sciences at UI, University of Ibadan, direct entry courses were for 3 years. And unlike the current practice of admitting direct entry students at 200 level, direct entry students were admitted to 100 level of 3-year courses. For direct entry admissions, a minimum of 2 HSC A-level passes in principal subjects were required, in addition to WASC credits in proper combinations. Many of us had 5 WASC credits, but this was not a requirement. 3 WASC credits and 2 HSC principal passes got you admission. Admission was based on the point system that was calculated on the basis of WASC and HSC papers. A credit in English was also required, but an HSC pass grade was accepted in lieu of English. A credit in math was also not a requirement in the Faculty of Arts. In social sciences, 1976 was the last year students without credit in math were admitted. This was done apparently to accommodate hundreds of students from Jos campus who opted to continue with University of Ibadan rather than the new University of Jos. These were the requirements for admission at the time, and are not to be confused with the requirements that came with JAMB and now govern admissions. I should add that universities in the north accepted pre-degree and schools of preliminary studies IJMB passes in lieu of WASC and HSC papers. Governor Obaseki was my classmate at Ibadan, and we took some mutual courses in history and philosophy during the 3-year programs. He was in Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall. Oviasu was in Teda, and Omeri and I were in Independence Hall. Other Egosa students at Ibadan at the time included Professor Larry Edosonwam, Agric, Mr. Duke Osumbo, Forestry, who both graduated in 1978. We graduated in 1979. I know so much about Obaseki because we grew up in the same neighborhood in New Benin. Those ties are for life. I attended the same schools and belonged to the same church, St. Peter's Anglican Church, Lagos Street, Benin City. He attended UI and graduated with an honors in classics in 1979, the same year I graduated in political science, and Ogbe Oviasu in history. I hope this messy matter can be finally laid to rest. Now, some say that this explanation that he has given is clumsy, and when it is time, he should appear as a friend in court, because this is going to take time, and they are taking this to the court. Obviously, it seems as if Pastor Iyamu is not going to back down. He wants to give Obaseki a tough time by taking this to the court. Well, since he's a living witness, and moreover, the educational criteria back in those days are documented, I don't know why this has become a story and is even something that has to be taken to the court to clear. It's very simple. The requirements of those days are clear for admission. They are documented and it can be shown. And if they are not documented, there are people who definitely got admission also, and they can present their certificate and what they had before they got admission. And with this, everyone will be at peace. People have advised that don't bother yourself. You will be a living witness when you're invited to the court. You also tell the court the reason why only his result was signed by registrar, while others of the same year were signed by both registrar and the VC. These are the discrepancies in the certificate of Obaseki. You equally explain all the discrepancies that appeared in the result. Court is waiting for you and the woman of UI. And people say that the registrar of UI already confirmed that Obaseki graduated from UI. And as per the certificate signed and not being signed properly, there are times like these things happen. It does happen. We are talking of human error. It could have been something that happened and he never bothered about it. There are people who have wrong date of birth on their own level. Till today, they have not bothered about it. Some do not even have affidavits. Some are not bothered about it. And if you get into political, game, you could end up being told you have a fake result, your birthday has nothing to do with the one on the certificate and all of that. And it will become a story for another day. And you'll keep on and on with this. So this is what they are taking to the court. They claim that this is Oluwole's certificate and that it is fake. And with this, even though you won the election, you shouldn't sit down and relax yet. Because the same thing that is going to happen to Opus Odima in Imo State, they believe is the same thing that's going to happen to Obaseki. So do you agree to all of this?